welcome to our deep dive all about problem solving.
Yeah. Problem solving.
You've given us a ton of academic papers and articles.
A lot of research.
And we are excited to find the coolest stuff here.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at everything.
Yeah.
Like, what even is a problem?
Yeah.
All the way to, like, how do experts solve problems? And even, like, what is creativity?
That's cool. You know what I think is so fascinating about this?
What's that?
Is that we're, like, always solving problems, right?
Yeah.
But we don't even realize it.
You don't even know we're doing it.
It's, like, built into us.
Yeah.
Human cognition, you know?
Yeah.
It's super complicated, though,
That's true.
how we do that.
Yeah. So before we get too far,
Yeah.
what is a problem?
Well, like, the research that you gave
Okay.
says that a problem has, like, 4 parts.
Okay, what are those?
The first part is what's called the initial state, so where you're starting from.
Okay.
Then there's the goal state. That's
Yeah.
where you want to end up. And then there's the rules,
I'm good. Rules of the game.
or like constraints.
Okay.
And then finally the obstacles.
The things that get in our way.
Right.
So it's like a maze, right?
Yeah.
You've got your starting place,
Right.
your ending place,
Uh-huh.
the paths you can take,
Yeah. And the walls.
and the dead ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Now, are all problems the same?
No, they're not.
Because some are simple, some are really complex.
Well, the articles you gave talk about well-defined and ill-defined problems.
Okay, so what's well-defined?
Well, a well-defined problem is like if you're solving a math equation,
Okay.
you've got the rules.
Okay.
You know there's going to be a solution.
Right.
And it's pretty clear how to get there.
Straightforward.
Yeah. It's like a maze where you have the map and directions.
You know exactly how to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, what about ill-defined problems then?
Okay, so ill-defined problems are like,
Yeah.
they're fuzzier. The goal isn't always clear.
Okay.
And there might be a bunch of different ways to solve it.
Oh, I see.
Like it's a maze in the dark.
Okay.
Where the paths are like always changing.
That's a good way to put it.
And you don't even know what the end looks like.
That's like real life,
It
right?
is. Oh,
You don't know what you're doing half the time.
Right. One of the articles talked about this psych student
Oh, yeah.
who was like super stressed,
Oh, I bet.
trying to write papers and study for exams at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a perfect example of a messy problem.
Classic college.
They want to do well in both,
Right.
but there's no like one right way to do it.
There's no instructions.
Yeah, and the path to success is like totally unclear.
I remember those days.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh, I don't miss that.
Oh,
So whether it's a well-defined problem or a really messy one,
right.
how do we even start?
Well, our sources talk about these two approaches, algorithms
Okay.
and heuristics.
Okay, so what's an algorithm?
An algorithm is like a recipe, step-by-step instructions,
Okay.
that if you follow them right,
Yeah.
you're guaranteed the solution.
You'll get there. Okay.
It's like putting together IKEA furniture. If you follow the instructions,
Yeah.
boom, you have a bookshelf.
You've got it. That makes sense for math
Yeah,
or like logic puzzles.
right.
But what about when we have to decide something quickly?
Yeah,
Like we don't have time to like go through all the options.
right. That's when you use heuristics.
Okay, what are those?
So they're like mental shortcuts,
Okay.
like rules of thumb,
Okay.
or like educated guesses.
Okay.
They don't always give you the absolute best solution,
Okay.
but they're usually good enough.
Good enough. Okay.
Especially when you're in a hurry.
When you're on the spot.
Yeah, like when I'm playing cards,
Okay.
there's no way I can calculate all the odds before I make a bid.
You don't have time.
So I just go with my gut
You go with your gut.
and some quick heuristics
Okay.
based on like what cards I have and what's been played.
Right. You're reading the situation.
Exactly. So heuristics
Hey?
are about navigating
Yeah.
what these sources call the problem space.
Problem space.
So just like all the possibilities within the problem.
Okay.
So all the different states,
Yeah.
all the moves you could make, and all
Yeah.
the possible solutions.
Okay.
So algorithms go through this space like systematically,
Yeah.
and heuristics are more intuitive.
More like gut feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes, even with all these tools,
Uh-huh.
we still get stuck.
We get stuck. Why does that happen?
Well, our sources
Yeah.
talk about these two things, mental set
Okay.
and functional fixedness.
Okay, let's start with mental set. What is that?
So mental set is like having blinders on.
Okay, you can only see one way.
You only see one way to solve the problem.
Wow.
Because that's how you've done it before.
It worked before, so it should work now.
Yeah, even when it's not the right way.
Even if it's not working.
Like if you're trying to open a door
Okay.
and you've always pushed it,
Yeah.
but now you need to pull it.
You just keep pushing, you're not thinking.
You just keep pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
Even though it's not working.
Even though it's obviously not working.
Right.
Yeah, I do that with my keys all the time.
Yeah.
I check the same spots over and over.
Even though you know they're not there.
Even though they're not there.
Yeah.
I get stuck in that rut.
It's so frustrating.
It is so frustrating.
So then there's functional fixedness.
Okay, what's that?
It's like mental set,
Okay.
but with objects.
Great.
You get fixated on what an object is usually used for,
Okay.
and you can't see other ways to use it.
You can't think outside the box.
Yeah, like in that classic candle problem.
Oh, the candle problem. Yeah. Tell me about that one.
So you gotta attach a candle to a wall
Okay.
using only a box of tacks,
Okay.
a matchbox,
Uh-huh.
and the candle itself.
Okay.
So the solution is to use the matchbox as like a little shelf.
To hold the candle.
Right, but people struggle
Yeah.
because they just see the matchbox as a container for matches.
They don't think about using it any other way.
Right.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, I was locked out of my car once,
Oh.
and I totally forgot.
Yeah.
My key had an unlock button on it.
Oh, yeah.
I was just so focused on using the key to open the door,
To open the door.
like physically open the door,
Yeah.
that I didn't even think
You didn't even...
about the easy solution.
It's crazy.
It really is. So it's like our experiences
Yeah.
and our assumptions
Uh-huh.
can blind us.
Totally.
So how do we break free from these mental traps then?
Well, that's where analogy comes in.
Okay, analogy. Tell me more about that.
So our brains are amazing at finding patterns,
They are.
and analogy helps us use that to our advantage
Okay.
by looking at solutions from other similar problems, even if those problems seem really different.
Even if they seem totally different on the surface.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are these two classic problems that researchers use
Okay.
to study this. One is the radiation problem.
Okay, what is that?
So a doctor has to destroy a tumor with radiation,
Okay.
but without harming the healthy tissue.
That's the problem.
And then there's the commander problem,
Okay.
where a general needs to capture a fortress,
Okay.
but it can only be taken with a full attack.
Right.
But the roads to it are mined.
Oh, okay.
So both of these problems seem different on the surface.
They do. They sound very different.
But they actually have a similar structure.
What do you mean?
So the solution is to use like a bunch of weaker forces
Okay.
to achieve something that a single strong force can't.
Okay, so give me an example of how these are the same.
Okay, so the doctor could use multiple low-intensity beams
Okay.
of radiation from different angles
Uh-huh.
to target the tumor without damaging the tissue.
Okay, makes sense.
And the general could divide his army into smaller groups and have them approach the fortress from different directions.
So avoid the mines.
Right, and then converge on the target.
Oh, that's clever. So
Yeah.
they're like attacking from all sides.
Right.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
But recognizing that connection
Yeah.
between two seemingly different problems
Yeah.
is really hard, right?
Yeah. Even when presented with the problems together,
Yeah.
people don't always see it.
They miss the connection.
So it shows how hard it is to transfer that solution.
Yeah. So how do we get better at seeing those connections?
Well, one important thing
Yeah.
is something called schema induction.
Okay, schema induction.
So it's about like
Yeah.
figuring out the underlying principles
Okay.
that connect seemingly different problems.
The deep structure.
Yeah, it's like those connect the dot puzzles.
Okay.
At first, it's just a bunch of dots.
Yeah, you don't see the image.
But once you start seeing the pattern,
Yeah,
the picture emerges.
it comes together.
Right.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So it's like focusing on the structure,
Yeah.
not the details.
Exactly.
So we can start to see how a solution in one place
Yeah.
can apply to somewhere else,
Even if they look totally different.
even if they look different at first.
Okay.
Now, this leads us to expertise.
Okay, expertise. This is a good one.
Yeah. The sources talk about what makes someone an expert
What makes someone an expert
and how they solve problems differently.
differently from a novice?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
being an expert isn't just about talent.
What is it about then?
It's about years of practice
Practice makes perfect.
and experience.
Okay.
Imagine an expert's mind like a really well-organized library.
Okay, I like that analogy.
They don't just have more books,
Right.
more knowledge,
Right.
but their books are organized so well that they can find what they need instantly,
It's like a super efficient filing system.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
like chess masters.
Chess masters. Oh, yeah.
The research shows they have incredible memory for board positions.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Their brains have basically built a chess GPS. They just know where to go.
Yeah. They can quickly assess the situation
Uh-huh.
and make strategic moves,
Right. They see the whole board.
but sometimes this expertise can backfire.
Oh, so more knowledge isn't always better.
Not always, no. It's weird.
How is that possible?
There's something called the intermediate effect,
Okay.
where people with, like, medium expertise
So-
sometimes do better than the experts.
I would think the experts would always be better.
You'd think so.
So why does this happen?
Well, it seems like experts
Yeah.
can become so focused
Okay.
on their specific way of thinking
Right. They're so used to doing it a certain way.
that they miss, like, more obvious solutions.
They don't see the easy solution.
Yeah, it's like someone who's amazing at fixing bikes
Okay.
might miss a loose screw
Yeah.
because they're looking for a complex problem.
They overthink it.
Yeah, so they're like looking at the trees and missing the forest.
Interesting. So it's like there's this balance
Right.
between expertise and being open to new ideas.
Exactly.
That's really cool. We went from what is a problem all the way to like the downsides of being an expert.
Yeah, that's a lot of ground.
This has been really fascinating.
Yeah.
So last time we were talking about how even experts
Yeah.
can get stuck in their ways.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like there's more to this
Yeah.
than just knowing a lot of stuff.
Right. It's like there's an art to problem solving,
Yeah.
like a spark
Yeah.
that lets us see new solutions.
So lets us see new ways of doing things.
Exactly. And that's where creativity comes in.
Okay, creativity.
Yeah.
So it's not just like having that mental library.
Right.
It's about knowing how to use those books in different ways.
Yeah. In new ways.
In new and interesting ways.
Exactly.
How do we do that? How do we unlock that?
So one big thing is being able to connect ideas that seem unrelated.
Okay, connect the dots.
Yeah. It's called associative thinking.
Okay.
And it lets you see patterns
Uh-huh.
and make analogies that other people might miss.
Okay, so you're seeing connections.
Yeah. It's like putting together a puzzle.
Okay.
The more connections you make,
Yeah.
the clearer the picture becomes.
Yeah.
And the better your solution can be.
Okay, so how do we get better at that?
At connecting the dots.
Yeah. Is that like something we're born with? Or
Oh.
can we learn it?
Some people might be better at it naturally,
Okay.
but research suggests we can all get better with practice.
Okay, we can train our brains.
Yeah. And one key is having a lot of knowledge to draw from.
Like having a big mental library.
Yeah. The more diverse your knowledge is,
Yeah.
the more connections you can make.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's like having a really well-stocked toolbox.
Yeah.
The more tools you have,
Yeah,
the more creative you can be.
right. You've got more options.
Exactly.
So it's not just about knowing a lot of random facts.
Right.
It's about how we organize that information.
Yeah. Remember how we talked about experts
Uh-huh.
and their organized knowledge network?
Yeah, their mental
the-
filing system. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just about the amount of information. It's
Yeah.
about being able to access it easily.
When you need it.
Right. Like those Rubik's Cube masters.
The ones they can solve it in like seconds.
Yeah. They've internalized so many patterns
Yeah.
that their brains are like supercomputers.
It's amazing.
It is.
But we also talked about how expertise can make you rigid.
Yeah. They can make you stuck in your ways.
So how do we avoid that?
Well, that's where breaking free from those constraints comes in.
Okay.
Creativity often involves questioning things.
Questioning assumptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Challenging the status quo.
Like going against the grain.
Yeah, like exploring new territory.
So you're not just following the same path.
Right. It's like those optical illusions
Okay.
where you have to shift your view to see the hidden image.
Right. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah. Once you break free from your assumptions,
Yeah.
you open up a whole new world of possibilities.
You see it in a new way. Okay. The articles also mention something called selective encoding.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So tell me about that.
So selective encoding is like
Yeah.
filtering out all the noise
Okay.
and focusing on what really matters.
So you're getting rid of the distractions.
Right. It's like finding a needle in a haystack.
Okay.
If you get rid of the hay,
Yeah.
you'll find the needle much faster.
You can focus on what's important.
Exact.
Okay, so you're really honing your attention
Yeah.
and focusing on what's relevant.
Right.
Okay, so it's more than just attention though, right?
Yeah. The research also talks about selective combination
Okay.
and selective comparison.
Okay, those sound interesting. What are those?
So selective combination
Yeah.
is about taking different ideas
Okay.
or pieces of information
Uh-huh.
and like merging them together in new ways.
Okay, like putting the pieces together in a new way.
Yeah, like a chef experimenting with different ingredients
Okay.
to create a new dish.
Good.
They might take two familiar flavors and combine them in a way that nobody's done before.
And you get something new.
Yeah, and it creates something amazing.
Like the cronut.
Oh, yeah, the cronut.
The croissant donut.
Yeah, they took two classic treats and put them together,
Yeah.
and it was a huge hit.
Yeah. Everybody loved it.
Right. And it's not just food.
What else?
It happens in art, science, technology.
All over the place.
Yeah, it's a basic principle of innovation.
Okay.
And then there's selective comparison.
Okay, selective comparison.
So that's about finding similarities
Yeah.
between things that seem different.
That seemed different on the surface.
Yeah, like a spider web and a suspension bridge.
Okay, yeah, I see that. That's cool.
Creative people are good at seeing these connections.
Okay, they see the patterns.
Yeah, and they can apply knowledge from one area to another.
They take inspiration from different places.
Yeah, it's how we can use nature to design new technology.
Okay.
Or use metaphors to explain hard ideas.
Right, so we're always looking for those aha moments.
Yeah, where we see a connection
Yeah.
that we didn't see before.
Right, okay. So that's how we make those connections. Now, is there anything about our environment
Yeah.
that helps with creative thinking?
Yeah, totally.
Like where we are or who we're with?
Our environment and our social interactions can have a big impact.
Okay, so like brainstorming with other people.
Yeah, like brainstorming.
Yeah.
Where everyone shares ideas freely
Yeah.
and there's no judgment.
So it's a safe space
Yeah.
to come up with new things.
Right. It's about creating what's called psychological safety,
Okay.
where people feel comfortable taking risks.
Right. So you're not afraid to share your idea.
And that's really important for creativity.
So you feel supported.
Yeah. But even though brainstorming is fun, research actually shows
Okay.
that we often come up with better ideas alone.
Really? So sometimes it's better to work alone.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Why is that?
Maybe because in groups, there's
Yeah.
like one dominant person. Or people are afraid of criticism.
Right. And that shuts down creativity.
Exactly. But even when we're alone,
Yeah.
our culture still affects us.
It still influences us.
Yeah, like the research talks about how
Right.
cultural diversity can boost creativity.
Okay, yeah. Like when different styles of music blend together.
Yeah, you get something totally new and exciting.
You get something new.
Right. When we're exposed to different perspectives
Yeah.
and ways of thinking,
Uh-huh.
it makes us more creative.
We see things in a new light.
Yeah, it challenges us to see the world in new ways.
Like during the Renaissance?
Yeah.
That was a time of huge creativity.
Yeah.
It was like a rediscovery of old ideas.
Yeah.
And blending of different cultures.
Right. And that's still true today.
So we still see that.
The most creative places are often the most diverse.
Okay, so diversity is important.
Yeah.
So we've talked about knowledge,
Yeah.
making connections,
Uh-huh.
and environment.
But what about the creative product itself?
How do we know if something's actually creative?
That's a tough question.
Yeah,
But one way is to look at its impact.
its impact on others.
Yeah, does it change the way people think
Okay.
or feel?
Or act.
Yeah. A truly creative thing should have a lasting impact.
Okay, so it has to make a difference.
Right. And that impact can be a lot of things.
Yeah, what kind of things?
It could be a scientific discovery
Okay.
that changes how we understand the universe,
Uh-huh.
or a piece of art that moves us.
That makes you feel something?
Yeah, or even just an invention that makes life easier.
Makes our lives a little better.
Yeah, like the printing press.
The printing press, yeah.
That was a big one. It changed how we share knowledge
It changed everything.
and transformed society. And while not every creative idea is that big,
Okay.
they should all be new and relevant
You should bring something new.
and meaningful to the world.
Something valuable.
Exactly.
And the articles also talk about how creativity isn't always these big moments.
Mhm.
It's also about everyday creativity.
Yeah, the little things.
Yeah.
Like finding a clever solution or cooking a new dish.
Or expressing yourself in a new way
Yeah, all those little sparks of creativity.
that make life more interesting.
Exactly. And those small sparks can lead to bigger ones.
Right, so we build up to the big ideas.
Yeah. But creativity isn't always easy.
Yeah, it can be hard.
It can be messy and frustrating.
Right, so you need to be able to keep going.
You need resilience
Yeah,
and perseverance. Creative people don't give up easily.
they keep going.
They see challenges as chances to grow.
can learn something new.
Exactly. Think about all the famous artists and inventors
Yeah.
who faced rejection,
Yeah, they failed a lot.
but they didn't let it stop them.
They kept going.
They kept going. And that's a lesson for us all.
Yeah, what's the lesson?
Creativity isn't just about having good ideas.
Okay.
It's about having the grit to see them through.
Yeah, to make them real.
It's about being willing to experiment,
To try new things.
to learn from your mistakes,
Okay.
and keep pushing yourself.
Keep trying.
Yeah. So our sources talk about
Yeah.
the creative process
Okay.
as a cycle of
Okay.
exploration,
Yeah.
refinement, and discovery.
So it's not a straight line.
No, it's more like a spiral.
Okay, you go back and forth.
You might go down the wrong path.
You hit dead ends.
You make unexpected discoveries.
You have to try different things.
And sometimes you revisit old ideas with new eyes.
You see it in a new way.
Right. It's about embracing the unknown.
The unknown.
Yeah, and being open to surprises.
To new possibilities.
Exactly, like watching ants build their colonies.
Okay, yeah.
They face obstacles.
Yeah.
They have to adapt.
They change their plans
But they keep going.
until they reach their goal.
Yeah, and that drive is a big part of creativity.
Okay, that drive to keep going.
It pushes us to keep trying new things.
And to keep improving.
And push the boundaries of what's possible.
Okay, so it's not always a logical process though, right?
Right. Our emotions play a big role too.
Emotions. Okay, so how do emotions affect creativity?
Well, creativity isn't just about thinking. It's about feeling too. Our passions,
Right.
our curiosity,
Yeah.
even our frustrations can motivate us.
So we can use our emotions to fuel our creativity.
Exactly. Like artists who put their whole heart into their work.
Yeah.
You can feel their emotions in every brushstroke.
Yeah, you can feel it.
And those emotional connections are what make things powerful.
They make it real.
They make them meaningful. But it's not just about raw emotion either.
So it's not just about feeling.
It's about finding that balance
The balance.
between passion and discipline.
Okay, so you need both.
Yeah. Creative people are often very self-motivated.
They have that drive.
They have that internal drive that keeps them going.
So they don't need someone telling them what to do.
Yeah, they're driven by the joy of creating.
Okay.
And that passion usually comes with a strong work ethic.
Okay, so they put in the work.
They put in the time and effort.
Yeah.
Because creativity isn't just about inspiration.
Yeah.
It's about showing up every day.
Doing the work.
And working to get better.
And making it better.
Yeah. And that willingness to persevere
Yeah.
is so important for overcoming obstacles.
And you run into problems.
Right. So it's like that saying,
What's that?
genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration.
Hard work.
Yeah, hard work and resilience.
So anyone can be creative.
Exactly. But remember,
Yeah.
creativity isn't just about individual effort.
So what else is it about?
It's about creating a culture that supports it.
A culture of creativity.
Yeah. Our sources talk about
Yeah.
creating environments where people feel safe
Okay.
to take risks
Right.
and share their ideas and
Yeah.
learn from each other.
So like a supportive community.
Right. This could mean encouraging collaboration,
Working together.
giving people chances to experiment,
to try new things.
and celebrating both successes and failures.
So it's okay to fail.
It's part of the process.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the articles argue that this cultural shift make a big difference.
It can. When we support creativity
Yeah.
in schools,
Well,
workplaces, and communities, we create a more innovative society.
everybody benefits.
Yeah, we empower people to solve problems
Yeah.
and make a positive impact.
And make the world better.
Exactly.
So it's not just about being creative for yourself.
Right.
It's about making the world a better place.
It's about making a difference.
And that's really inspiring.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? How do we make this happen?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's something we'll talk about in the next part.
In the next part of our deep dive.
We'll look at specific ways to boost creativity.
Individually and collectively.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be good.
Okay, so until then,
Yeah.
let's all try to be more creative.
Yeah. Embrace those little moments of creativity.
I see where they lead us.
Exactly.
Okay, welcome back to our deep dive on problem solving. We've gone from like, what even is a problem? To like, how do experts think?
Yeah.
To the mystery of creativity.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
But now, for this last part,
Yeah.
let's get practical.
Let's do it.
How can we be more creative?
That's the big question, right?
It is the big question.
And luckily, there's actually research on this
There is, okay.
that gives us some strategies
Strategies to be more creative.
to boost creativity.
Okay, I'm ready. Tell me everything.
Okay, so one thing that comes up a lot
Yeah.
is breaking routine.
Okay, break the routine. What does that mean?
Well, it can mean different things,
Like what? Give me some examples.
like traveling to new places,
Okay, go somewhere new.
learning a new skill,
Okay, learn something new.
or even just talking to someone from a different background.
Someone with a different perspective.
Right. All of these things
Yeah.
expose you to new ways of thinking,
Okay.
which can help you break out of your old patterns
Okay.
and spark new ideas.
So you get out of that rut.
Yeah, because like they say
Yeah.
the same old thinking leads to the same old results.
Right. So you got to switch it up.
You got to shake things up. The articles also talk about the importance of playfulness.
playfulness
Okay.
and experimentation.
Experimentation, like trying new things.
Yeah. Giving yourself permission to play,
Okay.
to make mistakes.
To not be afraid to fail.
Right. That can really help you break through.
To have those breakthroughs.
Yeah. It can lead to unexpected discoveries.
I like that. It reminds me of those workshops
Yeah.
where people build things out of random stuff.
Like what?
Like cardboard boxes or pipe cleaners.
Yeah, those are fun.
And it seems silly.
Yeah.
But you have to be creative
Yeah.
and work with those materials.
Exactly. Those limitations
Yeah,
can actually make you more creative.
really. So limitations can help
They can. They force you to think differently.
to find new solutions.
And sometimes you
Yeah.
come up with better ideas.
Better than if you had everything you wanted.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And this playful mindset
Yeah.
isn't just for artists.
So anyone can use it.
Anyone can use it. Like if you're trying to organize your closet
Okay, yeah.
or come up with a new business
You
strategy.
can be playful with those too.
Yeah. Approach it with curiosity
Curiosity.
and a willingness to try new things.
To think outside the box.
Exactly. And don't forget about incubation.
Oh, incubation. That's a good one. Tell me more about that.
So it's not just about taking a break.
Okay.
It's about actively doing something else
Something else entirely.
that you enjoy.
Okay.
So that could be going for a walk,
Okay.
listening to music,
Uh-huh.
or working on a different project.
Okay.
Shifting your focus like that
Yeah.
allows your subconscious to keep working on the problem.
It's like working in the background.
Yeah. It's like when you're in the shower
Okay.
and you suddenly have a great idea.
You have that aha moment
Your mind has been making connections
without you even knowing it.
without you even realizing it. That's cool. And speaking of the subconscious,
Yeah.
what about dreams?
Dreams. Yeah.
Can they help us be creative?
Well, there are a lot of stories
Okay.
of artists and scientists
Yeah.
who say that dreams have given them breakthroughs.
Like that chemist who figured out the structure of benzene
Yeah. The benzene ring.
because he dreamt of a snake biting its own tail.
It sounds crazy,
Does sound crazy.
but there's actually some science behind it.
There is. Okay.
It seems like sleep and dreaming
Mm-hmm.
help us consolidate memories
So organize our thoughts.
and make creative connections.
Our brains are working while we sleep.
They are. So maybe we should all keep dream journals.
Yeah, maybe we should.
But even if you don't remember your dreams,
Yeah.
the important thing is to give your mind time to rest
To rest and recharge.
and wander.
To let it wander.
It's like letting a field lie fallow
Okay.
so it can be fertile later.
I like that. So
Yeah.
self-care is important for creativity.
It is getting
Mhm.
enough sleep,
Yeah.
managing stress, doing things you enjoy.
All helps.
It all helps create a more fertile mind. And what about our physical environment?
Okay, our surroundings.
Yeah. Being surrounded by inspiration,
Okay.
whether that's nature
Nature, yeah.
or art,
Art, okay.
music,
Good.
or even just a clean workspace.
An organized space.
Yeah, it can really affect our creativity.
Yeah, I've noticed that. A cluttered space makes it hard to think.
It does, but when your surroundings are calm and inspiring,
Yeah.
it frees up your mind to focus.
Okay, so environment matters.
It does. And this brings us to mindset.
Okay, mindset.
Yeah.
Like how we think about things.
Yeah. Cultivating a growth mindset.
Growth mindset. Okay, remind me what that is.
So it's the belief that your abilities aren't fixed,
Okay,
but can be developed
through practice.
and hardening.
Okay, so you're not stuck where you are.
You can always get better.
Okay, that's a good mindset.
And it's so important for creativity.
How so?
Well, when you have a growth mindset,
Yeah.
you're more likely to see mistakes as learning opportunities.
Okay.
And you're more likely to keep going when things get tough.
You don't give up easily.
Yeah. It's like those babies learning to walk.
They fall down all the time,
They fall down
but they get back up.
and they keep trying
Yeah.
until they get it.
And eventually they're running.
Exactly. And that's what creativity is about.
That resilience.
It's about pushing past your doubts
Okay.
and experimenting until you find a solution.
Okay, so it's not just talent then.
Right.
It's hard work.
It's about hard work and determination.
Okay.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
Creativity isn't a solo sport.
You need other people.
Yeah. Our sources talk about
Okay.
collaboration
Working together,
and feedback.
getting feedback from others.
Being around other creative people can give
Yeah.
you encouragement,
Okay.
inspiration,
Yeah.
and valuable insights.
That you might not see on your own.
Yeah. It's like having a team of brainstorming buddies.
Yeah, to bounce ideas off.
Yeah. And to get feedback. And that
Right.
feedback doesn't have to come from experts.
Okay.
Sometimes the best ideas
Yeah.
come from people with different perspectives.
So getting a fresh perspective.
Yeah. So by working together,
Yeah.
we can achieve more.
More than we could alone.
Exactly.
This has been such a fascinating journey.
It has.
We've learned so much.
So much about problem solving.
About problem solving. What are the key takeaways here?
Well, the biggest one is that everyone can be creative.
Everyone.
Yeah. It's not some magical ability.
It's a skill.
It's a skill you can develop by
Yeah.
practicing,
Yeah.
exploring,
Trying new things.
and being open to new experiences.
Okay, that's good. And we're not limited to one way of solving problems.
Right.
There's so many different approaches.
We've got a whole toolbox of strategies.
From logic to intuition.
It's about finding what works best.
For each situation.
Yeah, and being flexible.
Okay, and to our listener,
Yeah.
remember to take care of yourself. Create an environment that helps you be creative.
Right. Get enough rest.
Manage that stress.
Surround yourself with inspiration. And believe that you can grow.
You can always get better.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference.
This has been great. It's been fun exploring these ideas with you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
And to our listener,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us
Yeah.
on this deep dive into problem solving.
Yeah.
We hope you learned some valuable stuff
We hope you feel inspired
to be more creative
and to tackle those challenges.
with curiosity.
Yeah.
And until next time, happy problem solving.
Happy problem solving.